starts now. Congressman Jared Moskowitz is joining us now from his district that includes parts of Fort Lauderdale in Florida. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. Can I first get your reaction to that reporting you just heard?
Well, on the Hamas front about, them deciding whether or not they're going to agree to ceasefire talks. I mean, we've known for months now the reason we don't have an agreement on a ceasefire is because of Sinwar, the head of Hamas in Gaza. He is refusing to agree to a ceasefire. He continues to move the goalposts on what he will accept for a ceasefire deal. And so that doesn't surprise me that they're continuing to hold out and not release the hostages in exchange for a ceasefire. He wants Hamas to stay in control of Gaza. That is never going to happen. On the Iran front, obviously, it's disturbing news. I know the Biden administration, along with all of our allies in the region, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, everyone working, Egypt, trying to make sure that this does not become a regional war. But obviously with Iran making that decision, it's becoming more and more concerning. I also don't necessarily believe, the latest threat. I think Hezbollah will also join in, and we will see both Hezbollah and Iran both going after Israel. Hopefully this can be contained, Wolf, because obviously the Israelis have made it clear, should they go after civilian targets, Israel's response will not be proportionate. So it's a very concerning time right now.
So if this conflict were to expand, and we heard President Biden expressed that fear earlier today in the CBS News interview, how might America's role change potentially if, in fact, this conflict escalates into some sort of full-scale regional war? A lot of people are worried about that.
Yeah, well, look, obviously, we have the Russians and the Chinese in the background. Don't forget about them. Obviously, they're still very mad about what's going on in Ukraine. Maybe they're helping us behind the scenes. Maybe they're not. It's very unclear at the moment. But obviously, this would become a major headache for the United States. It would become a terrible thing for the entire region. Obviously, all options should be on the table. That's what the president should be communicating. But it's his decision. It's the Biden-Harris administration's decision to figure out what we want to do. But you could be sure that President Biden, Vice President Harris is going to make sure that Israel's security is protected and that Iran is not going to get a win here. In fact, that's why they built this coalition the first time Iran tried to do this. And as I said previously, Wolf, it's interesting, right? Israel had specific strategic targets, people who were responsible for October 7th. They went and they killed those specific murderers. And now Iran wants to come with a completely disproportionate attack on the entire country. And so that is the escalation. That is the real concern. How the Israelis respond to that, well, look, this will be the second time Iran does a major attack on the country. That just cannot continue to go on for free without Israel deciding that it's a time to eliminate the nuclear capability of the Iranian regime, which is what I think the Israelis are probably thinking about.
Yeah, this could really escalate big time, and there's enormous concern, I can tell you, Congressman. Here in Tel Aviv, Israelis are very, very concerned that they're going to be hearing sirens pretty soon and telling everyone to go to bomb shelters and stay safe. We're watching and we're waiting to see what happens. Congressman Jared Moskowitz of Florida, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Wolf.
And Jessica, back to you.
Well, thank